As the days go on, the community has been testing and slowly getting more exotic class item rolls to drop, helping us figure out the true best combinations in the game. Now again, exotic class items are new to Destiny 2, allowing you to combine the effects of two different exotics into one. It's extremely strong, and with the right combination, you can set up some nasty builds, everybody. I've got one for you here, pairing two amazing exotics from Hunter and Titan onto the Void Warlock subclass, letting you have plenty of ability regen and one of the highest damage supers in the game right now. Let's get started. Now, one of the stars of the show is the Khvostov auto rifle, brought back from Destiny 1, and I'm just going to tell you from the start, this weapon is fantastic. The intrinsic trait is the right choice. Every 7th bullet from this weapon deals additional damage and ricochets to nearby targets. The trait is Eyes Up Guardian. Collecting orbs of power strengthens this weapon's next several ricochet shots, providing more damage and more bounces between targets. And lastly, we've got Shoot to Loot. Shooting an orb of power picks it up. Shooting an ammo brick picks it up and automatically reloads all of your equipped weapons from reserves. Now, with these three traits all on one weapon, almost set up a build loop or a gameplay loop just with the gun itself. When you lay on the trigger, that 7th bullet will ricochet, probably killing all of the adds in the general area as the ricochet range is huge. When you get that multi-kill, it's going to spawn that orb of power, which can be picked up using Shoot to Loot, proccing Eyes Up Guardian times 7, strengthening the next orbs of power and the next ricochet shots, all for it to just refund back into the cycle. More orbs, more ricochet shots, more damage bonus, and it's just fantastic once you get it rolling, just with the gun itself, guys. And we'll be amplifying that with the second star of the show, the exotic class item. Unbelievable. When I got these two perks to drop, I knew this was the perfect combination for it. Second slot, we've got Spirit of Star Eater. While your super energy is full, picking up an orb of power overcharges your super, granting it bonus damage. Paired with Nova Bomb, this is one of the highest damage supers in the game, and it was just a go-to option, a no-brainer when I saw it. Next, Spirit of Inmost Light. Using an ability empowers the other two abilities, granting them improved energy regeneration. This is just a great general play option, which can even proc tons of orbs, refunding the cycle for Star Eater, as well as Khvostov for free. Even more uptime, and I'm loving it so far. Let's move into the subclass, because this is where it just gets even crazier. We've got Nova Bomb Cataclysm as our super. Like I said earlier, when you get times 6 Feast of Light with those Star Eater scales, this Nova Bomb is doing great damage, and I highly recommend using it here. For the melee, we've got Incinerator Snap, a great solar melee option that, when paired with the right mods, can guarantee orbs of power, and ignitions if you know what you're doing. For the Vortex Grenade here, it was just a go-to option, another no-brainer. Vortex Grenades are super strong, and with the right fragments and artifacts, they'll be doing even more for the build, even more damage, giving us even more buffs. It's amazing. For the aspect, we've got Feed the Void. Defeat a target with any ability to activate Devour. While Devour is active, those kills will grant large chunks of grenade energy and restore health. That timer can also be refreshed on kills, granting you almost infinite Devour when you're getting ad kills. With something like Khvostov, killing ads is definitely something it's strong at, so Feed the Void and Devour will always be active, refilling our grenade energy, which will spawn orbs of power, giving us another melee charge, which will also spawn an orb of power, which are, again, also amplified by Spirit of Inmost Light. Unbelievable. Feeding back into Khvostov and our super to throw out unbelievably strong Nova Bombs, and we're not even into the fragments yet. For our Hellion, the second aspect, this is just a great class ability option. When you throw down your class ability, you'll get the coveted Solar Buddy. This will shoot blobs of lightning, hitting anything that you can't see, killing ads and cleaning up the room for you behind your back. When you're not shooting, it's very, very strong, and it does great damage, so we're using it here. Next up, moving on to the fragments. It's going to get really, really interesting here. This combination is awesome. For the first fragment, we've got Facet of Solitude. Landing rapid precision hits emits a severing blast from the target, while Transcendent, the severing blast is bigger. Now Sever is a very strong strand debuff to the enemy. When you lay on the trigger and hit those rapid precision hits, like we'll be doing a lot with Khvostov by the way, you'll sever the target and lower their outgoing damage by 40%. That just increases your survivability in all activities. And it says there at the bottom, severed targets unwind into a tangle when defeated. That's key, and that's going to help out the build as well. Next up is Facet of Grace. Defeating targets with kinetic weapons grants you bonus Transcendence energy. Defeating targets with your super grants you and your nearby allies bonus Transcendence energy. Now, here's where we talk about Transcendence, everyone, because with Khvostov, with kinetic weapons, you can actually fill up both sides of your Transcendence meter at once. You don't need a light or dark weapon, you just need a kinetic. And with something as strong as Khvostov, Facet of Grace is a go-to. This will fill up that meter very quickly, and you should not feel bad about popping Transcendence almost on cooldown. To pair with that, Facet of Devotion. Defeating targets afflicted with stasis or strand debuffs like Sever grants bonus light Transcendence energy. Just even more ways to increase that Transcendence energy and lower that cooldown. Facet of Honor. Collecting an elemental pickup or destroying a tangle, which we can do very often, grants Transcendence energy of the same type. These three in combination are just gonna max out that Transcendence meter so quick. And like I said, you guys should be popping that thing on cooldown. And lastly, we've got Facet of Dominance. Your Void Grenades weaken targets and your Arc Grenades jolt targets. Now, of course, we'll be using that with the Vortex Grenade to get that 15% weaken for anything that's stuck in the Vortex. Moving on to the Artifact, because this is where, again, it just keeps getting better. I'm going to read through everything that synergizes with the build, so feel free to pick up what you want. First up is Elemental Siphon. Rapid final blows with a kinetic weapon or a weapon matching your equipped super create an elemental pickup that matches your equipped super. Of course, elemental pickups are always great, and that also feeds back into Transcendence with that fragment. We've got Void Hegemony. While you have a Void or Prismatic subclass equipped, defeating weakened targets provides a small Void overshield. You can never say no to any extra overshield, and of course, we'll be pairing that with something else later. While you have a Solar or Prismatic subclass equipped, picking up an Orb of Power makes you Radiant. With all the orbs we'll be spawning, that's basically 24/7 Radiant for Khvostov as well. We've also got Expanding Abyss. Void sources deal increased damage to weakened targets. Of course, we need that weaken from our grenade, and when they are weakened, our heavy weapons will be doing extra damage. Always great for edge transit and whatever Void heavy you want to use. Lastly is Shield Crush. While you have Woven Mail, Frost Armor, or a Void Overshield, your melee recharges faster and deals increased damage. While you're Amplified or Radiant, your grenade recharges faster and deals increased damage. Now here, because of Void Hegemony, we've got Overshield. Because of Radiant Orbs, we've got Radiant, which means both our melee and grenade recharge faster with increased damage, of course. And that's not even bringing into the fact we've got Spirit of Inmost Light, recharging our grenade ability and class ability with our artifact perk itself. Those two in combination basically guarantee one of your abilities will be active at all times. Now let's go into the mods, because we're taking advantage of all of that. On the helmet, we've got a Kinetic Siphon, as well as an Ashes to Assets to gain bonus super energy on those grenade kills. We've got a Firepower, as well as a Momentum Transfer. These both will proc an Orb of Power on a grenade and melee kill respectively. Chest piece wise, it's up to you, but I've got a Void Reserve as well as a Concussive Dampener. On the legs, I'm going to use a double kinetic weapon surge to boost that damage of Khvostov. Finally, on the class item, we've got a Time Dilation, Powerful Attraction, and an Outreach. Reduces melee cooldown when using your class ability. When we pop that class ability, we'll grab all orbs of power around us. They'll have an increased duration with Time Dilation, and we'll get a little bit of that melee cooldown back, just refunding all of these cycles. We've got 5 things working together, everybody. The artifact, class item, mods, our weapon, the subclass. When you get this thing rolling, it's absolutely unstoppable. And I think this is the best, most complete build I've ever brought to the channel. I've had tons of fun with it, and in all content, I don't think I'm taking this off for a minute. Check out some gameplay. This build is awesome.
New target for data collection found. Osiris, tell the captain what we found.
Yes, the Vex have erected an algorithmic acceleration farm. It must be dismantled. It's self-replicating. You'll need to interrupt its connections in specific sequence.
Data threshold reached. Rendering assistance. Fire team member with high data yield found. Your achievement has been memorialized in my memory core.
We've pulled everything we can from this site. Failsafe. Sweep the area and find our next target.
Data streams are consolidating at a new location. Stand by. Harvesting Radiolaria Incubator. Radiolaria pressure is building up again underground, but I can't tell where. Scans are all coming up blank.
Scout over land and you should see traces, Guardian.
May I help secure that data, Captain? That beautiful data?
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you can just see how many buffs you've got active on the screen at one time. Everything at maximum capacity, you've got a grenade, melee, class ability, something ready to go, transcendence at all times essentially, and you've even got artifact mods bringing it up to the next level. All of these in tandem results in just a complete build. Something that I think I've done before, but this is just taking it to the next level. Everything is working together. Orbs of power, transcendence, you've got Star Eaters on a fantastic Void Super. So I highly recommend you get your hands on Khvostov and try this out. Now luckily, Khvostov is not hard to obtain. It's basically just an explore quest. Once you get a ton of collectibles on the Pale Heart, run around and grab them, you can go back to the Lost City, deposit them, and the chest will appear dropping the gun for you. Super easy to obtain, and I know obtaining these class items is a bit of a grind, but keep at it. Star Eaters on any subclass is fantastic, but when you pair it with Inmost Light, giving you tons of orbs, working back into the subclass in Khvostov and Transcendence, you're just unstoppable. It's so much fun to use, and I'm loving it. I'm not taking this off for a while. Thank you all so much for checking out a little bit of a longer video, but it was worth it. This build is worth it. I just want to say again, thank you all for the support on my last couple of videos. I cannot say thank you enough. All of the viewers like you are the community I wanted to grow from the very start, and it's so fulfilling to see some of that work start to pay off. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, so if you want to see more videos like this, click that bell icon and subscribe to the channel. It does wonders. Thank you all, and as always, I'll see you around. Have a great rest of your day.